And what was really most obnoxious to me was Alabama losing, and then they dropped to the number 3 or 4 spot. And they're still ahead of two really good undefeated teams that are busting their ass to really contend for a national championship. And to say that a team that's lost a game and already lost a game to one of those, one of the teams in the top 5, has a greater chance at making the national championship game than they do, it doesn't make any sense. You may as well just say, whoever wins the SEC, we're going to give them the national championship. And that's not fair to the other conferences as far as recruiting or, the ability to really contend or any of that stuff. It's, to me, that's just out of line. And I don't care if it's the coaches that are giving them the number 4 spot or the computers. The system needs to be changed, and we need to, I don't think 16 teams in a playoff is but even if you only had 4 teams, I mean, that's something.
Well, what's weird is our schools like Boise State. I mean, I'm not really hearing a lot of uproar, from other schools either. You know what I mean? Like you think that they would be speaking up about it, or maybe some coaches.
The poll just came out today. The
But it's it's the same thing. I mean, but it's the same thing that's been happening for like the past few years.
If I were Stanford, I'd be pissed. But they play the Ducks this. They play the Ducks or they play Oregon State?
They play Oregon.
Yeah. So I mean, and they're ranked number 7 right now. So hopefully that would give them a boost. If they can beat them, I don't think anybody in their right mind could say that they shouldn't be ranked ahead of Alabama. And Oklahoma State still got a couple of tough games to play. Right now they're in the number 2 spot, right? So, what happens if they lose and everybody else just wins out? Does Alabama just move back into that number 2 spot, and then we got to see Alabama and LSU again? That game was kind of a snooze fest.
Right.
Why do I want to see that again?
I mean, once again, if you're not a fan of those teams, or if you don't have a school in the SEC, you kind of lose out. But
it sounds like everybody wants to be in the SEC now.
Basically, or right now, what's happening with all these conferences, everybody jumping ship to different conferences to play or to fight for different opportunities.
The Big 12, it looks like, is going to stay alive. I thought they were going to be dead, but they're pulling some new teams in.
Well, so Boise State, are they going to the Big East? Was that announced?
I don't know if Boise State's going to the Big East.
They got invited.
Did they?
Yeah, they got invited this past week.
I don't know. They'd be stupid not to join a major conference. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean that might help a little bit in terms of them getting in there. But you think about it, right now, one thing I always wondered about a school like Boise State, they've been eating it up for the past 5 or 6 years right now, or maybe even it's been a long time. College football programs and all that stuff. I mean, how long will they keep this level of will they be able to?
Well, they're going to lose Kellen Moore.
Right, I mean that's the thing.
So I don't know who their backup is or who they've been cultivating behind him, but he's the winner on that team. I mean, the team as a whole is always pretty good, but they're usually a 1-loss team, not always. But they lost 1 game last year, but the year before that they were undefeated. They're probably going to go undefeated this year. So I mean, I think at some point you got to say, regardless of what's making it happen, you have to give them a chance to contend for the title.
Just saying that window might close.
Yeah, but it closes because they can't recruit. Everybody that they would recruit to keep that going wants to go to an SEC school. They want to go to Georgia, or they want to go to Alabama, or they want to go to LSU. And now, I think A&M and Missouri now being in those conferences, that's going to be big.